台山可以上車啦，台山嘅上車。我冇嘢領啊，又冇呃我。24年我領啊。我買過，我出嚟你24啊，快我個落嚟。係阿叔，你好，你好，你好。係搬啲嘢嗰邊嚇，搬到嗰邊先。
你連福家還要冇，還會唔會有？行呢度睇。
我將咩可以嘅攬去先。
我得跑我份。哦，你想2張簽名一齊？
應該到知嘅咪唔夠啦。咦，有個花啊？係啊。行咗冇？我話有得教紙嘛嚇。係。阿紅姐。係。周常生。哦。我講冇4分鐘啦，我問佢啦。喺冇嚟啊？喺對面。喂，我喺度。你係會接我？ 義工嘅集中喺呢邊嚟。
全部義工睇住啊！停梁義工，停梁義工，嗰個嘥牌唔該，所有義工集中喺呢度嚟，大家分配下工作。所有社團，你自己都橫額得到，馬上嚟好。
哦，正式捱包啊！捱包啊，幾勁！可能㗎。有硬嘅啊！我收你好仔，你嘅嘢我都坐啦。你交俾人上。先生呢邊啊，揸緊時間上車啊！呢邊有10位8位啊！大家注意安全，注意安全啊！注意安全。出有線咯。2個點啦。我嗰度有移民嘅話，可以揾啲義工。我哋嘅社團咧有150個義工去幫佢哋，先大家放心。啊，會有2分鐘啦。啊，我啱晒。你好嘢喎！唔係，大家有份。好啦，好快啦！你好快啲，車條日子嚟㗎，請大家注意安全。唔係有嗰度有巴士啊？整咗一個直線呢度嚇，從呢度開始一路排緊兩眼，我哋內身跟住兩下，我呢個風台喺嗰度。
所有嘅台山鄉親，大家集中喺呢邊嚟，集中喺呢邊嚟。
行出啲啦，行出啲啦。
要咁樣向面向呢度，你調翻轉向呢度，調翻轉向呢度咧。咩向嘛？所有嘅台山鄉親戚，叫晒所有嘅台山鄉親全部排晒呢度。我哋台山鄉親形成一個方隊，作咗出嚟。上乜？嚟上啲。係好。嚟上。喂，睇嗰個埋嘛？啊，嗰個埋，腳背嗰邊咧成個嗰度嚟㗎。喂，係啲埋。係啊，呢件衫啊。OK， 我哋而家就四個單位咁排緊落去，而家有紐約葱嬲同學會、美國葱嬲同鄉會、美國台山總商會。想下呢啲啦，條人啊，要買個搞笑啦。好笑啊！幾把？買運落先啊嘛。快啊！呢個啫，好明確啊！好爭啊！爭條上界啫，好撚多人，好仲有冇咧？因為今日咧預計60台車咧哎呀，叫難啲啊！我都未人過啊，唉，坐唔到落嚟，下一班坐唔到落嚟，注意安全啊！安全第一㗎。係咯，未見到啊！
我都唔知用。你做乜啲嘢先問嘅？
我们今天的活动呢，在12点准时开始。在这之前呢，有几个注意事项跟各位来说一下。在稍后我们会有默哀1分钟，所以呢，请所有的现场的朋友要保持肃静。另外呢，如果你随身用纸巾之类的，要把你自己的垃圾呢清理好、携带好。那今天天气很冷，我们来了很多的耆老，相互呢照顾一下。另外人特别多。 我们的警方呢已经很早呢就到这里来了，所以呢就怕出事，希望各位不要相互拥挤，不要串来串去，要保持一定的秩序，注意安全。谢谢各位。朋友拿着标语，恐怕呢有一些小问题，所以呢我们的义工稍后呢会把大会制作的统一的标语来换一下您手里的标语。
呢個幾多單你啊？幾多單咯？我知定台嗰啲，我知定台你一接嚟就緊咯，如果就 OK。啲人撐炮啦，啲人。好撐嚟撐去啊！呢個係兩個單嘅，所以就喺度食嗰個芝拿嘅白飯嚟。大家鎮靜下，大家保持冷靜嚇。
We would like to advise everybody with no advertising today. And also, when we're doing the slogan, please do not involve with any political will. Thank you.
我哋每一個人手頂住嘅示威牌，個個都舉起佢，舉得高高啊 ！OK， 舉高佢，表示我哋中國人嘅團結，好嗎？好。嚟！台山人！
伸張正義。我知道，你喺度支持一大家嘛。好，係由梁永德講一個公道係咪？我哋今日係唔講政治，係講正義。多謝各位嘅支持。正義，公平正義，支持梁永德，支持梁永德。 真啊！大家要保持冷靜，保持團結，要互相禮讓嚇，互相禮讓，冇爭先恐後。
后边的朋友啊，前面的已经没有位子了，所以呢，不要再往前拥挤，不要呢试图串到前面来，要保持秩序，我们要防止呢相互拥挤。
Hey, I just want to remind you guys, do not leave any trash in the park, okay? Pick up your trash.
现在呢，离开始还有10分钟的时间。据说呢，在法拉盛 还有300多人已经没有小巴来到这里了，还有陆陆续续的有人从这个纽约各地赶往这个公园，所以人会越来越多。希望各位千万注意安全，不要相互拥挤，保持我们华人应有的形象。那我们在开始之前呢，先来喊几句口号好不好？谢谢。
好的，好的。
各位有没有准备好
？Are you ready？
今天我们的主题就是 Justice for Peter Liang， Justice for all，
Justice for all，
Justice。那呢，我们最近在我们的华文媒体，在主流媒体，包括昨天的《纽约时报》的这个中文的网站上，出现的就是一个关键词，就是不做替罪羊，是我们这次华人的心声。所以我们现在要说的是，不做替罪羊。
So we carry on with this spirit. Justice for all. Once again, when I call justice for all, you say justice, justice, justice. Justice for all. Justice for all. Justice for all. Justice for all. Justice for Peter Liang. Justice for Peter Liang.
Justice, justice, justice. 今天呢是公元2016年农历的正月13，按理呢，作为主持人，我们今天应该在这里首先问候大家过年好。可是今年这个年我们过得很窝囊，很窝火。就在我们过年的那一天，就在稍后的初4，我们的一个华人青年，执勤刚刚10几个月的，20几岁的，在危险地段的执勤的一个青年被起诉。原因仅仅是一个意外，一个同样的意外，我们以往看到的是一个不同的历史，而今天我们站在这里，当我要走上这个主持台的时候，其实我接到了很多警告，比方说你这样不能说，你那样不能说，你这个也不能提，你那个也不能提，我们都被吓傻了，各位。孔孟之道的礼让之道，让我们变成了绵羊，然后我们不敢说话，变成了沉默的羔羊。今天还有人不满意，想让我们变成替罪羊，所以不做替罪羊，不做替罪羊，坚决不做替罪羊。Justice for all, Justice for Peter Liang, Justice, Justice, Justice.
So today is February 20th of 2016. We are all gathered here for one simple reason and a good cause, a fair justice. Life is precious, and this is one tragedy with 2 victims, Peter Liang and Akai Gurley. Thank you very much for Coalition of Asian American for Civil Rights to be the lead organizers and being on top of this case. And I would like to thank every one of you for being here to be part of this, to let our voices to be heard. We strongly suggest no scapegoats. Everyone deserves a fair justice. And once again, justice for all. Justice for all.
Justice for all.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice. It is grievous that Akai Gurley died in the tragic accident. And it is also unfair that New York NYPD officer Peter Liang was victimized to ease the police community tension. They are both victims of our governmental system. We demand a fair justice and a justice for all.
今天呢，除了我们纽约市，在全美还有40多个城市同时举行抗议集会或者是游行。尽管我们今天游行的执照没有申请下来，但是今天集会的人数已经声势浩大。所以呢，全美只为一件事，只为这一个词，那就是 justice。 我们再多说几遍好不好，各位 ？Justice! Justice!
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 Justice! Justice! Justice!
What do you want? When do you want it? What do you want? When do you want it? What do you want? And when do you want it? What do you want? And what do you want? When do you want it? When I say justice, you say justice. Justice! 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 No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! So this event is very meaningful, and thank you everyone for being here. You are the reason we have a good cause. We will make this happen, and thank you very much. So I know that everyone has been waiting for so long for this moment and to witness this, one of the historic moments to be happen. May everyone please wait just a little bit more because we still have a lot of respectful guests and also the family of the victims is coming on the way. So may everyone please bear with us for just a little bit more.
其实我们今天站在这里呢，已经是第2次站在这里了，无数次站在叉叉烫和法拉盛，但是我们的声音我觉得还是不够大。由上一次的想不予起诉，到现在已经被判有罪，说明我们的声音太小了，我们仍然被当做了替罪羊。所以我说中文的不做替罪羊。我们再来说几次好不好，各位？后面的朋友能不能听到？不做替罪羊。 不做替罪羊，
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 不做替罪羊。
Justice,
Justice,
justice for all,
Justice for all,
justice for Peter Liang,
Justice for Peter Liang,
justice, justice, justice.
Justice, Justice, Justice.
各位看到那边有蓝色的气球，这次。 起诉我们华裔警官皮特·梁的是一位检察官，一位在主流媒体上充满了负面新闻的检察官。美国的地方检察官是选出来的，各位，蓝色气球段里可以登记为选民，用你的选票说话。就在前2天，我们有一位山东的侨领还在讲，说我们华人只注重经济，很少关心政治。今天。 我们就吃了这个亏，去那里登记为选民，用选票说话，让不合格的、不称职的、想作秀的 DA， 让他们下去，好不好？我们不做替罪羊，不做替罪羊，不做替罪羊，不做替罪羊 ，Justice, Justice, 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 Justice.
Justice. So another reminder, today we are gathered here. It's not a parade, it's not a rally. We are going to gather here at this one location. We are not going to walk through the bridge or anything. We're going to just stay here. And also, we do have a voter registration table on the side. So if you are a citizen, but you are not a voter yet, please feel free. And we encourage you to become a voter. With more voters, our voice can be heard easier.
能够组织这么多人，不到2周的时间，可见我们华人心还是非常齐的，也非常团结的。那么呢，有5个人功不可没，他们纷纷在社区、社交媒体做了大量的工作。其中呢，我要见到前面这5个人都已经连续3天没怎么睡过觉了。 所以特别感谢他们。我们首先把他们请上舞台，好不好，各位？首先有请亚裔维权大联盟的总召集人陈善庄、肖桂元先生、任伯年先生、吴一平先生、李万龙先生，为他们5人鼓掌，好不好？我们同时也感谢所有为本次集会和以往为支持皮特良的历次集会来声援我们的其他族裔的议员和朋友们，为他们鼓鼓掌，好不好？感谢今天所有为本次集会所做出无私奉献的义工们，好不好？感谢所有在最近一些天为皮特良捐款的朋友们，好不好？谢谢各位，谢谢。
这次我们100万大示威，全美40多个州市响应参与。今天我们邀请到纽约地区的侨领，他们是邓学仁、苏焕光、陈学顺、沈毅、刘满、李华、吴凯、燕景龙、吕坚强、郑思琪、徐家树、黄华清、张国栋、坑立矿、陈在福、钟成楚、陈煞庭、梅真心、陈建龙、马栋才、刘珍奇、梁守表、林慈辉、李春燕、王刚勇、吴浩初、
All right, the demonstration for today for the fair justice, justice for all. We are going to start now. And first of all, we would like our volunteers to present the United States flag. And then we are going to sing the national anthem all together. And now may everyone remain we are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
好，朋友们，我们今天在这里呢，微信群里在流传一句话，说我们今天站在这里是为了皮特梁，也是为了我们自己，更是为了我们的下一代。那今天我们要现场补充一下，我们也是为了拉丁裔、非洲裔，所有其他的处于边缘的少数族裔，为所有有可能受到不公正对待的任何族裔 ，Justice。现在呢，我们就开始今天大会的致辞程序。首先，我们在致辞之前，要向本次意外事故当中不幸死于意外事故的格力默哀1分钟。我们也向所有的在历次警方执勤当中死于意外事故的朋友们默哀1分钟。现在开始。
Okay, now we are going to have a moment of silence for the family, for Mr. Akai Gurley. And also, we wish that there's 2 police officers got injured in Brooklyn today. We hope that they have speedy recover.
「好，谢谢各位。皮特梁20几岁，10几个月处于间隙期，在危险的地方执勤发生意外，却受到了不公正的对待。就在今天刚刚发生的布鲁克林，有2位警察又被打伤了。我们今天借着这个大会，希望他们早日康复起来。首先，我们要请出的就是亚裔维权大联盟的总召集人陈善庄先生来给我们致辞，各位掌声欢迎，谢谢。
So now we would like to welcome our first speaker of the day, Mr. John Chen. He is the chairman of Coalition of Asian Americans for Civil Rights.
同胞们、朋友们。我非常感谢今天能够第2次聚在这里，为我们不公平的正义大家站出来，我感到兴奋。今天在这里，数万人在这里，我们追求什么？我们追求司法公正，我们追求我们皮特亮不要做替罪羔人。现在在这里，今天是220，我们呼吁全美所有的亚裔上街抗议，对政府遵从标志不公的做法，我们要讨回公道，我们要让所有的下一代子子孙孙在这里平平安安的生存下去，让他们给我们空间。我们亚裔是一个少数民族，从头到尾都不闹事。为什么今天在这里有这么多的人出来？我们不要再沉默，我们要出来讲话，我们需要我们为我们争取的一切的不公平的利益讨回来。这一次做成 皮特亮走火，意外造成2个家庭的不幸，我们心感悲哀。我们不希望以后再有第2次的皮特亮的 case， 一直的下去。大家都知道，皮特亮事情在14年11月开始，整整到16年2月11号被认为过失杀人2级谋杀罪，5条大罪成立。你们大家知道吗？当时我们跟梁妈妈站在一起，听到这样，梁妈妈发抖。但是我们皮特亮在执行任务，走火相害，他可以做成不幸，他内心上多么痛苦。跟我讲，钱大哥，怎么会变成这样子？我辛辛苦苦培养儿子20几年来，送给政府，为社区服务，我却把他毁了。我说，我们今天刚刚开始，在法庭上面，媒体采访我的时候，我说，美国建国以来，今天是我们对我们亚裔华人最黑暗的一天，最不公平的一天。你说是不是？我们不做替罪羔羊，但是我解释给他听。我安慰他们家人，我们的路还要走。DA 在法庭上歪曲事实，做成我们这样的平台的结果。所以说，我们大家要记得清楚，我们要站出来，我们要做水平登记。我们要维护我们的权益的民选官员，把他送上去。在这里，11号到现在前后10天时间。我们大家所有的，不止我们美国50个州、亚裔，还有其他州议员，看到这一点，纷纷打电话。我们要看见，我们需求是公平，不要有2种标准。在这里，我再次感谢我们所有的侨民、所有的朋友，一路上在支持，一路上我们不要做哑巴，我们要把心中的话讲出来，要让他们知道 我们的诉求是什么？希望公平、公平、公平、公平、公平。在这里，我非常激动，也非常感谢所有我们今天2020的全美50个州的亚裔，包括其他的州议为这件事情出声。再一次感谢大家，谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。
And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steve Chong. I'm part of the member of the coalition, and I'm going to do a translation for Mr. John Chen and just what he said before. Justice! 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 And today, our rally committee expressed the deepest condolence to the family of Akai Curley. His loss was a big tragedy for his family as well as this city. His accident death resulted from many systemic problems which we as a society must address. We are equally saddened and concerned by the selective and unjust prosecution of Peter Liang, an NYPD officer who is made to be the scapegoat of politics, as well as the victim of selective prosecution, which failed to resolve the long-standing distrust and tension between the minority community and law enforcement. Peter Liang is a rookie cop full of aspiration to make a New York City a better place to live. Was deployed to patrol with another rookie cop. That's dangerous, right, isn't it? In a war zone building without adequate supervision, training, and support. Evidence showed that the shooting of Akai Curley was truly an accident, a tragic accident, not the intention of Liang. And looking back in history for similar cases where African Americans were killed by police officers, we see hardly any prosecution. Liang is not a criminal. Liang is not a criminal. Liang is not a criminal. Sacrificing Liang is not the correct way to solve the systematic problem. Justice is not served by finding a scapegoat. Selective prosecution of Liang telling us our system is not upholding justice for all, means justice for everyone. It is sad Akai Curley died in tragic accident. It is unfair that Officer Peter Liang was victimized to ease the police and community tension. There are definitely deeper roots to the problem of his death and this conviction. The justice won't exist until we collectively reveal the problem, face them, and put an honest effort to eradicate them. We are now calling all the people and groups to get united together to reform our system, eliminate political manipulation, stop selective prosecution, and stop scapegoating. Justice, we need justice for Peter Liang. Justice, justice, and justice, and thank you.
Justice! 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 OK， 接下来我们有请亚裔维权大联盟发起人之一肖桂元先生致辞。
各位侨胞，大家好！今天非常高兴看到全球 今天为了公平正义声援我们的皮特梁警官，所以我今天代表中华公所来到这里看这个大家致敬，也非常感谢我们侨胞那么踊跃来参加，今天算是一个公平正义的盛会。Peter Liang is our chair in the Chinese American community. Liang, many of our young Chinese Americans, he have his ambition and desire to join the NYPD. We have others, however, in the fatal shooting accident in the pin house, he did not get the support he needed and deter in the justice system. There were many police delayed the shooting in New York City. In most cases, the police officer would not be indicted or even found guilty. Serious. Changing like the Chinese officer Peter Liang, both families in the accident are suffering. The Chinese American community sympathy with Akai girl and his family. However, we can correct double standard. We can correct our children to become scapegoats. We need to treat equally. The Chinese American community are all together today to fight for our rights and to support our Chair Peter Liang. Thank you for the justice. We not be scapegoat. Not be scapegoat. We must unite together. Thank you.
喂，抱歉，今年呢是我们 Graceman 国会议员把亚裔新年作为纽约市的公共假日的第一年，但是这个第一年的团圆年，我们就在这里，因为这件事情团圆，所以呢，我们接下来很想请我们的国会议员 Graceman 来给我们讲两句，好不好，各位
？Now we would like to invite our Congresswoman Graceman to give a speech. Thank you. Good afternoon. On November 20th, 2014, two young men who came to New York City, one from Hong Kong and another from the U.S. Virgin Islands, to pursue the American dream, tragically crossed paths in an unlit stairwell in Brooklyn's pink houses. By the end of their encounter, one would be dead, and the other's future would be forever altered. Last week's conviction of NYPD officer Peter Liang and the accidental shooting of Akai Gurley has ignited vigorous debates across New York City and throughout the country. But one thing is clear in this tragic case: the system failed. It failed both Peter Liang and Akai Gurley. The elevator in the pink houses should not have been broken. The lights should not have been out in the stairwell. Two rookie cops should not have been patrolling by themselves in New York City. And public housing residents should not have to deal with crime that makes these regular police patrols necessary. These systematic failures make me so angry and must be addressed. Another tragedy like this must not be allowed to occur ever again. As the mom of two boys, I cannot begin to imagine what the families of Peter Liang, and we're with his mom today, and Akai Gurley have and are continuing to go through. I'm heartbroken at the loss of a young father's life, and I'm also heartbroken at the criminal conviction of a man who, by virtue of doing a job in which he sought only to protect and to serve our city, may now lose years of his life behind bars. A jury has spoken in this case, but it's my hope that those involved, Judge Chan and DA Thompson, in the sentencing, recognize that there is no winner here. Peter Liang's sentence should be just and should reflect his service and the accidental nature of this tragic incident. He, his family, and the Gurley family remain in our thoughts and prayers.
多謝我哋今日何議員、何先生議員，我哋要公平，我哋要攞公平，我比賽要公平，公平，公平，公平，公平。
好，朋友们，在过去所有声援皮特梁的活动当中，无论是新闻发布会、集会还是游行，你都可以看到一个身影，一个白人议员的身影，他的名字叫做 William Colton， 纽约州的众议员，掌声加倍送给他，好不好
？Now we would like to have the New York State Assemblyman William Colton.
今天能够站在这里，我们有这么多民选官员，为了我们正义。 讨回公道，为我们下一代、子子孙孙能够好好的过日子。但是，我们好朋友不离不弃的，是我们布碌仑州参议员第一时间站出来，给我们支持。 站台，希望大家给他的掌声，好不好？从去年3月8号，在市政府门口，超过3000多人抗议；在4月26号，我们走过纽约100年的老桥。 布伦桥，也是我们的众议员William Colton一起走过，我们再次感谢他，好不好？现在我有请他来发表他的看法，谢谢。
We are here today to make a clear message that we want justice, justice for Peter Liang, and justice means the end to scapegoating. No scapegoating, no scapegoating, no scapegoating, no scapegoating. Now, we all want to express our deep condolences for the family of Akai Gurley, as we equally also express our condolences for the family of Peter Liang. And also, I want to say, we express our well wishes and condolences and sympathy for the families of all police officers and everyone who has been shot and injured and killed. Two police officers were shot last night. They're in the hospital now. It looks like they're going to be okay. But again, another example of our New York City police officers every day risking their lives to protect all of us. And when Peter Liang went into that building that night, he was going there not because he wanted to hurt anyone, but because he was trying to protect the families in that building. scapegoat! No scapegoat! Scapegoat! No 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 scapegoat! Because you cannot have equal justice when you make anyone a scapegoat. That is not justice. It is not the American way. Now, the truth here is that both Peter LIANG and Akai Gurley are victims of a system that did not work to protect us. They're both victims. Peter LIANG and Akai Gurley did not cause the lights to be out. Did not cause the lights to be out in that hallway of a dangerous building where they were both present. They were not the cause of the lights being out and the elevators not working constantly. They are not to be made scapegoats because of the failure of the New York City Housing Authority to properly maintain those buildings in a safe condition. No scapegoat! 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 And Peter LIANG and Akai Gurley were not responsible for the fact that the gun that Peter LIANG was carrying was not up to the standard weight poundage for its trigger force. That was not Peter LIANG or Akai Gurley who caused that. No scapegoat! 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 And Peter LIANG and Akai Gurley were not responsible for the NYPD policy of placing 2 rookie officers in a dangerous stairway, in a totally dark stairway. They were not the ones who caused that mistake of policy. No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! So, it is not justice when you make a scapegoat of somebody who was not the cause of the failings of government in protecting us and keeping our people safe. And it is not equal justice because Peter LIANG and Akai Gurley were not responsible for the anti-police climate that exists in New York City. They were not responsible for that. A climate that has seen 4 police officers killed in the last year and a half. And just last night saw 2 more police officers shot. No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! No scapegoat! So we are here. We are here to send a strong message that we will not allow any scapegoating. We want equal justice for all. And finally, we came from my neighborhood with over 6 buses of people, and we could have gotten more. And they were all wearing blue ribbons to show support for the NYPD, because the anti-police climate is one of the causes of this terrible tragedy. So we are here to send a message. We are not going to permit scapegoating. We want equal justice for everyone. And we want to show our support for the brave police officers who have risked their lives every day. No scapegoating. Thank you.
多谢，谢谢我们的联邦特委，一路上都是支持我们。
好，接下来呢，我们有请出的是纽约州的众议员Peter Abad。
Peter Abad 也是我们华人的一个朋友。他从 Peter 的事情。 虽然是他没有做站出来在前面，一直在跟Bill Gordon一起来，默默的在我们支持 support， 所以说我们也给大家掌声好不好？谢谢。
Thank you, John. And as my colleagues have said, we're here for justice today. Justice, and we have to stay together. Bill just said no scapegoating. And the way we're going to stop that is not only today, but over the next couple of weeks. The trial's going to go on appeals and all. This is the beginning. We have to stay together to make sure that justice is done. My colleagues and I here will be with you, but we have to organize and make sure that the appeals judges know that this was not a crime. This was an accident and not a crime. And I think the DA, the assistant DA, went a little bit too far. And that's got to be brought out in his closing statements. We have to do that. And I see the press here, all in the front. But do me a favor. Don't only look at us. Look what's behind us, our groups back here. That's where the pictures should be. The pictures should be the crowds behind us in our communities. We have Sunset Park here, right? Bensonhurst, Flushing, Manhattan, and that's it. But we got to stay. Where? At Long Island. But we got to stay together. We have to, these next couple of weeks are the crucial weeks. If we want to see justice, we have to stay together and make sure we organize well. So again, justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, New York State Assemblyman Peter Abad. Thank you very much. And next up, let's invite New York City Councilman Mr. Peter Koo.
大家给我们的 Peter Koo 掌声好不好？在去年，我们首次为维权、为争取公平，第一次，我记得很清楚。在法拉盛 ，Peter Koo 我们是一位议员，他第一次就站出来，我们再次给他掌声，感谢他。
Asian Americans, but more importantly, as Americans, 我们是美国人，对。We want justice for Peter LIANG. We want justice for Kai Cooley. We want justice, not revenge. We don't want revenge. No revenge. No revenge. No revenge. No revenge! No revenge! What happened to Peter LIANG and Kai Cooley was a failure of government on all levels. It was a failure of our public housing that is kept in constant state of neglect, where lightness stairwells are commonplace and endanger both residents and police. It was a failure of NYPD's training because a rookie police officer should not be patrolling in such unsafe conditions. These were systemic failures in our system that should not have been ignored, but they were ignored in the case of Peter LIANG. This was an accident that occurred when you put a rookie officer in a dangerous scenario with inadequate training. A second-degree manslaughter charge for an accident to no judges is revenge. No revenge! Peter LIANG is the fall because the system failing. The system failing! District Attorney Kim was on Chinese television after the conviction, and he said Peter LIANG may not see a jail time. Parole is a possibility. He should be had for parole. We asked the judge to recognize these failures that have befallen Peter LIANG and Akai Curley. So we are here to stand together. Chinese Americans, Asian Americans, we are all Americans from the Tri-State area. We are here to stand with the Akai family and the Peter LIANG family. We will support him. Thank you very much.
我们要公平，我们要公平，我们要公平，我们要公平，我们要公平。
好，朋友们，接下来呢，我们继续引荐一位非常重要的我们亚裔的州众议员金兑锡，他的英文名叫 Ron Kim。
Next up will be our New York State Assemblyman Ron Kim。
大家给他掌声好不好？他是我们亚裔的一个韩国的州众议员 Ron Kim 先生。 再一次跟大家感谢。We are all here today because we want equal justice. What do we want? Justice, 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 justice. Let me hear you. This is a critical moment for all marginalized communities in the city, in the state, and in this country. It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said injustice anywhere is a threat to everywhere. Right now, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands, Asian immigrants, students, small business owners, workers, feeling like they've been mistreated. Whether you're a small business owner, worker, or a cop, there's a different level of standards that are being applied to Asian Americans, and that is why we're here standing strong to make sure we can push back and fight for equal justice. Now, this fight is not going to just end here. This is just the beginning. We must get organized. We must register to vote. And we must participate in the democratic process. I do not want my child, our children, to one day to bear the burden of the tilted scale of justice. That's not what we want. That is why we're here today. Because if we don't do this now, we're going to wake up 20 years later and face the same situation. So with that, I want to thank all my colleagues and all the organizers for putting this event together. We're going to take this fight to Flushing, to Albany, wherever we can to make sure we're heard. Thank you so much.
Next up is our New York State Senator Martin Golden.
Thank you all for coming out here today for justice. That is why we are here, for justice, for the right thing. There are two tragedies here. Mr. Gurley and Peter. Those are two terrible tragedies. But the signal that it sends, not to the Asian American community, but to the entire city and state of New York and to the nation, is amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I was a police officer. I know what it is to be in the streets. Look at that shooting only last 2 weeks ago. When they stopped these two kids, they didn't even search them. They let them walk up the stairs, and the guy turned around and started shooting the police officers. Look at last night again in housing. Outside a housing complex, what happened? 2 more police officers shot. And then, of course, Peter's in a house, in a building, going through it, doing what he's supposed to do as a police officer. And he has an accident. Like anybody else can happen. It could have happened to me. It could have happened to my son. It could have happened to anybody. My son is a police officer. It was an accident. And it has to be recognized as an accident. That is manslaughter too. It's not manslaughter too. And when you send that out, when you send that message to the police officers across this state, guess what they're gonna do? They're not gonna take their guns out, and more cops will die, and more cops will go to jail. For what purpose? For what purpose? It's wrong! It's wrong! It's wrong! We need a retrial. And I know there's a lot hoping that the judge is going to do the right thing on sentencing. I pray that he does. But I also pray that the retrial, and that this man is found innocent of manslaughter too, because he is innocent of manslaughter too. He is not guilty of that charge and should not be charged that way. It was an accident, ladies and gentlemen. It was an accident, and that's the way it should go down. And that's why there's frustration here. Look at this crowd. Look at this crowd. Everybody is upset. My wife is upset. Our families across the city, from every ethnic and cultural and religious background, they know the officer had an accident. And he should not be found criminally responsible for doing his job and having an accident. Police departments across this great country encounter millions of people each and every day. Millions of people. And we have great communications. And we get the job done that needs to be done for the people that need that help. There are shootings. And the majority, 99%, 99.9% of those shootings are good shootings. And you have a small number that are not. And then you have a small number of accidents. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is an accident. This is an accident. This is not a crime. This is not a crime. This is an accident. This is not a crime. And that's the way it should go down. As has been said by colleagues, they've gone over it. I stand with my colleagues and with you. And that we should send the right message to the police departments across this city and state and across this nation. And we should stand by our families and by our communities. And never forget there were 2 tragedies here. To the Gurley family, I send my deepest sympathy. And to Peter's family, I send my deepest sympathy. We have to fight, and we have to stand together, as it's been said by my colleagues, as we move forward to make sure that justice is done. Thank you.
多謝我哋家丁討論，多謝。
好，朋友们，现在大家看到整个公园已经全部被我们华人装满了。接下来我们要请出的是纽约市的前主计长刘醇逸来给我们讲话，好不好，各位
Now, let's welcome our former New York City Controller, Mr. John New.
Thank you for being here. 感谢大家来。First, First, let me express what's on everybody's minds. That our hearts are with Akai's family for their deep loss of a promising young man. And we understand the pain and anger among our African American brothers and sisters who have seen the killings of one unarmed black man after one unarmed black man in continuous succession. And that is an injustice. It's an injustice when a young unarmed black man gets shot point blank and no charges are brought. It's an injustice when a black man is taken in an illegal chokehold, captured on video, and yet there are no charges. So it shocks us that in an incident where an Asian American officer shoots his gun in fear for his life, not aiming at anybody, in a place where he could see nothing, and unfortunately and tragically kills an innocent person. It was an accident, and people looking at the facts as they came out in this trial. That's why, as shocked as we are to hear the verdict, deep down we were not so surprised. This is why the organizers, this is why we were here by the thousands last spring after the indictment. Because as much as an indictment is not a conviction, we already had an idea where this was going to go down. Because of our history, the history of this country, the history where not a Chinese man's chance was brought when Chinese Americans were sent to build the railroads in the most toughest conditions. When they were finished with the railroads, we were labeled the Yellow Peril. When we were then excluded from this country by Congress, Asian Americans were then put in concentration camps during World War II. Dr. Wen-Ho Lee, not so long ago, was persecuted and had his character assassinated because he was suspected to be a spy for other countries. And now we have more Chinese Americans and Asian Americans being accused of the same nonsense. This is the history that we have seen. And that's why, as much as we understand that our African American brothers and sisters feel a deep sense of injustice with all the killings, we Asian Americans also feel a deep sense of injustice. This is not an isolated incident, because this is also a continuing pattern of discrimination and double standards against Asian Americans. And so we are here to say we are not going to stand for any more double standards. No double standards. And Peter Liang is a scapegoat for so many other things that have gone wrong. No scapegoat. No scapegoat. No silence. No silence. 今天大家都很生气，我真的鼓励大家，不是只有生气，一定要站出来，要讲出来，不是只有今天，每个礼拜、每个月、也每个年要出来投票。谢谢大家。
What do you want? When do you want it? And what do you want? When do you want it? What do you want? When do you want it? When I say justice, you say justice. Justice! 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 No scapegoat! to you.
在这里，我们感谢我们前主席长周六，从第一天开始，在上一次也是站在这里，我们共同走过布伦100年老桥，我们非常也感谢他，为我们华人做了很多事情。再一次感谢，给我们掌声了吗？在这里，我们还有一个我们的布伦的市议员崔马克先生，从头到尾不惜不力的在一起。今天他们又出来为我们站台，我们大家给他掌声好不好？这里我在这里给大家讲一下，今天刚才收到消息，将近5万人在这边，希望大家前面的主台不要一直吹他们，因为我们保持冷静，希望大家保持冷静。现在外面的警察都不让我们我们那边还有个赛，那边还有一个公园，希望大家不要推到前面来，谢谢。再次感谢我们崔马可先生，谢谢他一路上支持。
My name is Councilman Mark Traeger, and I'm proud here to support the community. I want to say that over 74 years ago, President Roosevelt signed an executive order that seized the property and the possessions of thousands of Asian Americans during World War II. These are people that fought for our country, who had relatives fighting for our country. And now, we find ourselves 74 years later, fighting for the same type of justice and equity for all. I believe that we are here to stand for justice, not revenge. Justice, not revenge. Justice, not revenge. Justice, not revenge. The truth is, AK Gurley should be alive today, but the truth also is Peter LIANG should have never been in that building in the first place. And the truth is, the elevators in the buildings should have been working in the first place. The lights in our nitro buildings should be on and working in the first place. Where is the accountability of our government? The government failed AK Gurley, and the government failed Peter LIANG. So we stand in solidarity with all of our fellow brothers and sisters. An injustice done against one person of our community is a justice done against all parts of our community. Am I right? The context of this case is very important. I was a teacher in the public school system. Try explaining to children that they had to be marked absent to observe the Lunar New Year. That was wrong. Many of the people standing behind me are the reasons why we now have in New York State an official Lunar New Year holiday to observe and celebrate the Asian American Lunar New Year. But we're not just standing here here to have more holidays. We're not just standing here to have basic respect. We're standing here to make sure that justice is for all. And I'm telling you, we must learn from history and take a page from others. That now it is the time to turn this emotion, to turn this frustration, to turn this lack of respect into a movement. We must register thousands and thousands of Asian Americans to vote. This is your city. This is your nation. They're hearing us here today, but we must make sure they hear us on election day from City Hall to the State House in Albany. This is your city, this is your state, and this is your country too. In solidarity.
Justice for Peter Liam! Justice for Peter Liam! Justice for all! 好，接下来我们要请出的是来自布鲁伦的民主党代表 Nancy Tang。
Now the next up is Brooklyn Democratic Party District Leader, Ms. Nancy Tang.
Hello everyone. I'm very happy to hear among everyone here today at the Cadman Plaza, Brooklyn, to demand justice and not revenge for Peter Liang. Therefore, I am honored to speak to everyone here today in support for Peter Liang. The events that have transpired on November 20th, 2014 was a tragedy for both the families of Akai Gurley and for Peter Liang. One family lost their son, while another man will be cursed forever with immeasurable guilt. We demand that the request for the appeal for Peter Liang will be approved so that more evidence will be presented. The petition provided to everyone for the New York Supreme Court states that the case should either be dismissed or that Peter Liang is sentenced to probation. I hope that our support for Peter Liang will let the city of New York know that we're here to demand justice, not for him to be sentenced up to 15 years. Once again, I want to thank everyone coming out here to support for Peter Liang. We all want justice. Thank you, and I'm glad everybody used their precious time to come down here and have this rally. Thank you so much for all of you. Thank you.
好，朋友们，今天能有这么多人站在这里，微信、脸书、社交媒体功不可没。凝聚华人力量群的朋友们 ，say yes！ 你们的群主吴一平在这里，请大家讲话好不好？
The next up will be the co-chairman of Coalition of Asian Americans for Civil Rights, Mr. Yiping Wu.
Thank you all. I think I could speak Chinese much better here. 这个我是跟陈先生，我们大同盟亚裔维权大同盟一起 还有那个任伯年先生，还有那个道格先生，我们在整个从去年到现在，一直是坚持到现在。这个我只能说一句话，歌里面唱的就是一句话，我们中文里面说的，坚持有点难，但是我们坚持下来了。那么我就说一下我们的感受。当初我们出来的时候，彼得亮给5项的 charge， 所以我们当初走到街上的时候是非常痛苦，大家的心情都是很悲怆的。那我就在这里跟大家分享一个感觉，我们呢听不到声音，没有我们的声音，我们觉得很弱小。所以呢，在这个时候呢，我们就站出来，要做这件事。那么今天呢，来了那么多朋友，那么多支持我们大同门的朋友，我们感谢大家，谢谢。我再讲一句是很重要的话，我们中国人讲的是秋后算账。秋后算账就什么意思呢？对我的理解，我们在秋天的时候，我们要 vote 我们的人，或者支持我们的人，不要让梁彼得的事件再发生、再出现。Justice for all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
好，接下来呢，我们要请出的仍然是来自亚裔维权大联盟的发起人之一，任伯年先生来讲话，好不好，各位？
Oh, the legs up is also one of the co-chairmen of our coalition of Asian Americans for civil rights, Mr. Phil Jim.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank everyone to take time out from your Saturday to come here today. It is wonderful to see so many people come out to speak up for yourself, for your family, for your children. From what I understand, close to 50,000 people are here. The park's been closed. There are many people outside, many people in Brooklyn, in Manhattan, in Flushing, in Long Island, who wanted to be here but couldn't get here because there's not enough buses to take them here. Everyone already talked about why we're here. We need justice for Peter Liang. We don't want him to be a scapegoat. But we want also to thank all those people who supported him from the get-go, which a year ago, in February, we first held the first press conference in Flushing, that we will not stand to see him being scapegoated. The only elected official who came out at that time was Councilman Peter Ko. He was the only one that came out and said, yes, we ought to look into this, make sure that he's going to get a fair treatment. When elected officials, after the incident, wanted to persecute Peter Liang before any details came out, that council member is absolutely wrong. And we don't want that to happen. Peter, at that time, man of reason, said, let's wait for the facts. And now, we stand up March 8th at City Hall. We were here in April. We marched across the Brooklyn Bridge. 5,000 people. That was great. And we're back here now with 50,000 people. It's because we are outraged. We are angry. We cannot stand this anymore. You know what? We are still talking about we want equality. We want justice. There's something wrong about this. We are got to find a better way. 40 years later, if we don't do anything, we're going to be back here. Not me. Maybe my children, maybe your children, or their children's children. It's going to keep going if we don't make a change. And we need to change. You know how we change? Every one of you got the power. You got the power. I got the secret. You want to know what the secret is? You register to vote. over 40 cities across the country out there today demonstrating. If we vote in a unified way, you don't think people will listen? You don't think it's going to happen? I must say, I appreciate William Colton, Assemblyman, Councilman Mark Traeger. They supported us from day one. Day one. They've been here every day. All the fair weather politicians, I'm sorry to say, only come out when there's a big crowd. That's not going to make it. You know what? When we have the power, we put people in office. Who's going to stand up and fight for us? Right? And also, when we use that power to take down those who do not stand up for us or fight for us, we tell them, pack your bags and go home. So, utilize your power and don't want to come back here, be angry, be outraged. We could do it silently, but effectively get those people who's going to stand up and fight for us. And that's what we want. If we don't make that change, we be here every other day, and I don't want to come back. I don't know about you. This is not a concert, okay? What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice for Peter Liang! Justice for Peter Liang! Justice! Let's make it happen. Register to vote. Vote in a unified fashion. Put the people who's going to help us in office and tell those who are not going to help us, did us wrong, pack your bag and go home. Thank you.
Now, who got the power? We got the power. 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 Thank you. And now, our next guest is the candidate of the United States Congress, Mr. Lee Yong-min.
那接下来致辞的是美国国会议员候选人厉永民先生。
It's so good to be in. Sorry, the bad weather I lost my voice to that bad weather, but nothing would take my spirit from coming here demanding for what? Justice! Justice! And what should we do? We got to grow our power. We got to empower ourselves. Empower ourselves by voting. Register to vote and go to vote. Otherwise, you have Peter Liang 2 and you have Peter Liang 3. Let's don't do that. Empower ourselves. All right. First of all, let me address the family of Peter Liang directly. I am sorry. All these things is happening to you. Nothing, I'm sure, is pleasant. Everything is awful. Your family is victimized by a broken criminal justice system. You are victimized by a broken criminal justice system. But you're not alone. You are not alone. Are they alone? Yes, they are not alone. We're here. Everybody, the previous speakers have said there are two tragedies here. One, obviously, is the death of Akai Gurley. We must not forget that Mr. Gurley lost his life. He lost his life in an accident. And then the second tragedy is what's happening to Peter Liang. victims and scapegoats of a young police officer, and also our entire community. Am I right? We must move forward. We must move forward. Yes. Every communities of minorities are too often mistreated by police. All right. So let's build on it. Let's go to vote. Let's register vote. Thank you. Justice! Justice for all! Justice for Peter Liang!
今天全美近50个城市，这里5万多人，整个美东地区有上千家侨团联署关注这个事情。所以接下来我们请侨团的一位代表给我们讲讲，好不好，各位？是福建的朋友们 ，say yes。我们接下来有请福建同乡会的陈学顺主席来给我们讲话，好不好？
Now let's welcome the chairman of American Fujianese Association, Mr. Xu Shunqian.
僑胞們、朋友們，大家行好！我哋今日好興奮嘅心情，大家聚集喺呢度支持嘅 Peter Liang， 我哋希望大家要堅持到底。一定公平，要公平。
接下来要告诉大家一个事情，梁妈妈已经到现场了。Justice, justice for all, justice for Peter Liang。我們請梁媽媽跟我們講兩句，好不好？
大家支持佢哋，支持梁媽媽，就係支持我哋。大家支持。
Give a nice round of applause for the family of Peter Liang. Mrs. Liang, 媽媽。
首先各位大家好，喺呢度咧，向嗰個家人失去嗰個感到。 好遺憾，好難過。喺呢度咧，好多謝各政要、社員同埋世界各位朋友關心 Peter 我再次衷心咁多謝各位。不過我諗到 Peter 啲嘢
I want to translate the statement made by Mrs. Liang. Mrs. Liang wants to offer her deepest condolences to the family. She understands the pain of losing a loved one. And they are deeply sorry for the tragic accident. She also wants to offer her thanks, appreciation for the support from all the elected officials, community leaders, friends, and supporters. Thank you.
我哋一路要支持落去，我哋支持到底，我哋攞公平，我哋攞公平，我哋公平。
好，朋友们，我来说梁妈妈，大家说坚强，好不好？梁妈妈，我们的路还要很长走。 那接下来，我们想请梁彼得警官的律师代表来给大家讲两句。
I have a statement from Peter LIANG. First of all, he wants to express his condolences to the Gurley family, and he's sorry for their loss. Second of all, he wants to thank everybody for coming out. The support has been overwhelming. We've received literally thousands of letters to give in to the judge on his behalf. So we want to thank John Chan for organizing this. We want to thank all of you for coming out and supporting him. It is helping to uplift his spirits during this very difficult time. Thank you.
好，接下来呢，我们要请出的是来自我们 Chinatown 的侨团代表，重政会的我们的科研代表吕坚强会长来给我们致辞。
大家好，我们今天到这来，都是为了一个目的，支持梁彼得，支持皮特亮。我今天看到有这么多我们华裔到这来，我们是为什么？为了我们自己，为梁彼得，为了我们下一代争取 公平、正义、家庭一起要正义。
好，我希望各位呢按照我这个所公布的顺序来讲话，谢谢。
我前面呢一個，因為今日好多人，我哋都係嚟知道需要我哋攞翻公平、公義，唔做 一個替罪羔羊。现在我们也有请到我们社区人士，刚才我们政界的已经都表示支持对这不公平的事情，我们伸张正义，要讨回我们的需要的东西。现在我们福建侨团的领头大哥，也是福建统央会的陈学任先生，陈学任主席。
同胞们好，感谢你们，辛苦你们了。今天我们大家来到这里，就是为了我们爱美国的，我们美国的国家是自由、公平、公正的。梁皮的事情，他的走火意外，所以说。 这次的事情也考虑到我们整个亚裔对他的这个痛心，我希望在美国政府的公平公正下，还有我们下一代的努力美国社会做一个更好、公平、公正的。谢谢各位。
好，接下来呢，我想介绍两位很特别的人士。
Hello，
他们从支持彼得梁毅开始到目前为止， 都全程跟踪，所有的今天现场的细节他们做了很多。所以呢，我要介绍詹瑞露和朱丽叶2位，鼓鼓掌给他们好不好？在我的讲话程序里没有这2个做事很多的人的名字，让他们讲2句好不好？来，詹瑞、朱丽叶2个人每个人讲几句，谢谢。
谢谢大家，今天真的我们天公作美，我们今天在这边也是天赐大福，希望我们这个福给我们的皮特亮，给我们的亚裔朋友带来大福，谢谢大家。
Hello， 大家下午好，今日你哋辛苦啦，今日就係我哋為皮特亮呢個。做出一個公平嘅對議，希望我哋大家團結起嚟，為咗我哋嘅Peter亮一個好嘅裁判。希望我哋所有嘅中國人團結起嚟，為咗我哋嘅亞裔人，為咗我哋嘅以後嘅子女，為咗我哋大家，希望我哋支持佢一個公平嘅對議。祝大家身體健康，身體舒適，萬事勝意，thank you。
好，接下来呢，我们要欢迎的是来自法拉盛的侨团代表，北京同乡会的沈毅会长。
大家下午好。我们今天到这里来，就是和平请愿。我们不只是给梁警官请愿，也是为我们华人受到不蒙之冤请愿。我们必须组织起来。刚刚 Ronnie King 讲得非常好，我们这么多人，我不知道有多少，可能有5万、6万，真的全来了。那我们今天来了，还要做一件事，千万大家要回去写好请愿书，大家喊一声请愿书，请愿书，因为请愿书真的能帮上梁彼得。好，由于很多的代表要讲，那我的话就讲到这了啊。我们是坚决支持 justice。
Okay, the next guest we would like to welcome is the district leader, Jenny Low of the 65th district.
Thank you so much for coming out to support the community. It is one accident, 2 victims, and we are terribly sorry for both families. But one way, as many speakers have spoken before, one way we can support our community and the system and advocate for systematic reform is to register to vote. I have a lot of registration forms here. I'll be happy to help you register to vote. 大家，我係劉林劍雄，我係民主黨民鐵區唐人街嘅65選區嘅區領袖。頭先好多人士已經講過，係一個意外，有2個受害者。咁我哋可以改變呢個政策咧，就要一定要。講都係我哋嘅聲音，我哋點樣用我哋嘅聲音就係選舉、投票選舉，請大家積極投票選舉。Thank you。
好，謝謝。
而家我哋有請，因為 Peter 亮係台山的鄉親人，但是也是我們中國人，也是我們亞裔。我很感謝台山的鄉親今天也來了很多，希望我們台上的現任主席、央主席，
聽眾們、朋友們，我係代表我哋隨山嘅社團、隨山嘅鄉親出嚟支持Peter亮。我哋隨山人。移民嚟美國100幾年嘅歷史，我哋應該站得嚟，為我哋嘅Peter亮公平、公正，大家一定公平、公正，支持Peter亮，多謝。
Peter亮
Now we'd like to introduce a former police officer who actually served in the pink houses when the incident with Peter LIANG happened. He would give you a different perspective. Lou Tolano.
Thank you. No one knows more than me the dangers of vertical patrol. I was a homicide detective in the city of New York, and my assignment was the Housing Bureau. And I just want to align to a book that was... I just want to say, no one knows more than me the dangers of vertical patrol in public housing in the city of New York. I just want to repeat, people that didn't hear me, I'm a retired homicide detective that was assigned to the public housing, which is the Housing Bureau. I just want to read one line from a book that was sent to me, which I can relate to because I have done it over and over and over. This book, the book is called, I just want to read one line, that's it, and it relates to Peter LIANG. Some Call It Justice is the name of the book. It makes no difference how many times you've done it. If you never got used to entering the pitch black stairwell, never knowing what you will find, and if you have to make an instant decision, 3 things happen to you when you're doing vertical patrol in public houses. I just want to say, I was assigned to that area before Peter LIANG was born. You either, 3 things they call the 3 F's. You get frightened, you freeze, or you fire. This is what happens. This is what happens if you are patrolling a dark stairwell in public housing. How dangerous it is? All of you know how dangerous it is. Just this morning, 2 police officers were shot, assigned to the Housing Bureau. You all know about Wen-Jen Liu and Rafael Ramos, who's assigned to Tompkins houses because of the similar conditions in pink houses. It's a dangerous place to work. 5 minutes down the street on pink houses in Brownsville, 2 African-American police officers were doing vertical patrol in the late 80s looking for a missing child. They walked into a drug deal. They were both shot. 1 died. This is how dangerous vertical patrol is in the city of New York. Now, I don't want to be repetitious, but in my experience, Peter LIANG is a scapegoat. He was thrown to the wolves. Is a pawn. Peter LIANG was in the wrong place, the wrong time, and the wrong atmosphere. There's an anti-police sentiment, and I'm going to say this, as a result of the present New York City administration. So, all these incidents that have occurred with police shootings throughout the city of New York, someone has to get a piece of meat, to be honest with you. I think they were pacifying certain political groups. Peter LIANG was convicted. Once he walked out of that building, he was convicted. He was convicted with no facts, no evidence exactly what happened. Obviously, we're all sad. A human being died. He was shot. He was just sitting on a step. We all realized that. But there was no intent. It was a tragic accident. And by the way, I'm repeating what the police commissioner, Bill Bratton, said. It was a tragic accident. I don't know why that wasn't brought up in the court system. It's just a dangerous place to work. And yes, some people say, well, what about he failed to give CPR? What about making notifications? What about his hand on the trigger? I'll tell you what, that's after the fact. That is not manslaughter. How does the district attorney of Kings County change the penal law by saying an accident is a crime? In this case, there was no crime. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for inviting me here. I just want to say, as president of the New York Federal Police Association, we are supporting Peter LIANG all the way to the appellate division.
好，我们请舞台前边的无关人员稍微往后撤一下啊，现在舞台上已经挤满了。另外呢，各位不要拥挤，在稍后离场的时候要有秩序。那接下来呢，我们要请出的是来自美国福建公所李华主席来给我们致辞，掌声欢迎，谢谢各位。
同胞们，大家好！今天很高兴，我来到这里。我在场外已经听到了，我看到微信，我们这里5万多个人，而且全国各地都在响应，包括费城的。今天我们为什么在这里来呢？我们是为了我们的下一代，也为了批了亮的不公平的这个得到不公平的这个判决。所以说，我们希望我们所有的同胞站出来，为我们的未来，为批了亮加起。for 批了亮。美国是一个崇尚自由和公平，我们需要公平，公平。谢谢。
A little over 52 years ago, in 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King made a very famous speech, I have a dream. In that speech, he said, one day I will dream that my 4 young children can live in a country, in a nation that will not judge people by the color of the skin. We here, we share the dream, right? We share the dream. We are equal. United States Constitution guarantee freedom, equality, and justice. We trust, we believe the system. We share the American dream. But today we stand here, we just wake up, find out we did not have an American dream. We have a nightmare, a nightmare. So we are here. We are here for the first day of a long road. We're gonna have our justice. We want the fairness. We want the equality. We want justice. Right? 今天我们站在这里，要求的只是要公平跟正义，对不对？好，谢谢。
OK 我是酒店协会的主席黄华清。今天我们为什么要来这边？因为我们要知道，1982年陈果仁事件发生以后，居然没有一个人会受到惩罚。1982年到现在已经是32年，我们中国人是不是一定要被人家欺负？我们是不是一定要有我们的法律保护？还有，我们现在很多我们的子女在这边生长，我们都是学其他的美学。我希望从今天开始，我们要叫我们的子女去学法律，去做 DA， 做检察官，为我们争取权益。谢谢。
我係李宗寶，大家好。我哋今日嚟到係要為爭取正義。我係台山人，好開心見到好多台山人喺呢度。更加主要我係中國人。呢件事嘅發生係個悲劇。We would not be here if it wasn't for the civil rights leader, the African American who fought for justice for all, and this is what we want: justice for all. 我哋需要嘅係 justice for all, justice for all, justice for all. We also want, we demand D.A. Thompson to say to the judges, the sentencing judge, privately at sentencing, what he said publicly, which is, Peter Lang did not intend to kill Akai Gurley. We feel for Akai Gurley and his family. His daughter would never see his father. We know the pain. But D.A. Thompson, you need to tell the sentencing judge, as you said publicly, Peter LIANG did not intend to kill Akai Gurley. This is contradictory to what he said, what the ADA said at sentencing, that he intended to kill him. Peter LIANG did not intend to kill him. An accident, it is not a crime. accident is not a crime. Justice for all. Thank you.
Justice for all. Justice for all.
我是福州人，美国福州商商会馆的主席王刚勇。我今天在这里代表所有福州人支持和中国人。People from Febuary, let me hear you. Let me hear you. Your voice. Equal justice for all. We're here for one reason. For one reason. One standard. Equal justice for all. For all. 200年以前，我哋中國人標喺呢個 railroad 喺西岸到東岸，我哋冇人話我哋把呢個鐵路做好嘅。咁啦，而家我哋做咩啊？因為我哋唔出聲，因為我哋沉默。而家今時今日唔係，我哋21世紀，我哋站起來，我哋要講俾你知，站起來，我哋團結，站起來，多謝，多謝。
各位乡亲，各位朋友，我是三江公所的主席吴凯，在这里我代表浙江、江苏和江西的朋友们支持杜比的皮特梁的活动，再次感谢陈村长在这里为我们召集这样的大会，为我们华人伸张正义，谢谢大家。
大家好，我代表紐約自由督察公所為皮特王呢件官司請求公正公義。咁咧，我哋督察公所一力以實體行動支持佢，多謝大家。
今天我们呼吁所有人。在美国50个州，EIE走上街头，为我们公平、公正站出来，为我们下一代子子孙孙有好的日子过。我们不要再做3年公民。我们需要大家团结起来，让我们所有的EIE少数民族在这里才能够平平安安的。我们要团结，我们要团结，我们要团结。另外。首先，这个皮特梁事情需要大量的资金。一路上，现在每一天大概都超过300。的信，超过300人来捐款，有的老人家带着孙子，我就是为了我的以后孙子铺路。小孩子捐2块钱，他说妈妈给我零用钱，我今天都要捐出来，让皮特梁表成功，所以说我很感动。其实我们捐款归一件事情，我们还要需要大家签名，向法官求情，向 DA say no。我们要团结，我们要传票。 今天的场面，我在这里是第3次，但是披萨的事情不是1天2天会解决的。希望大家继续发出我们的声音。我们不是要做替罪羔羊。在这里，我衷心的感谢我们所有的今天22年全美我们亚裔的侨胞同胞人出来，想个声路，我要公平，我要公平，我要公平。平台亮的事情，在4月14号那个定刑时间要判刑的。而家我哋響4月份，我哋響4月份，響平台亮14號之前，我哋仲有一個全球抗議示威，希望大家留意我哋媒體。我哋時間申請咗啦，但係今日就暫時我唔公佈出嚟，希望大家再次進來支持，多謝大家。
好，在稍后离场的时候呢，在我手的左后方，从这个口的出去，所有的人依次从这个口退场，有秩序退场，保持队形，不要相互推搡和拥挤。谢谢各位。
Ladies and gentlemen, there's an important notice here. When you leave, please leave on the left side of the stage. Everyone please point it that way to show people on the back. That side, not the, only this side. Okay, everyone please point it for me because on the back, I need other people in the back that also see direction. Please, no pushing. We have to show all other people that we can be a role model. This is a peaceful demonstration here for fair justice.
请大家在走的时候呢，一定要注意安全，离开的时候也注意安全。谢谢各位 ，Justice。我们还将举行大集会，直到皮特梁安全走回自己的家中为止，好不好？我们到时候通过各种方法，还是紧密的联系在一起，团结，团结，团结！让我们4月份再见。在秋天投票的时候，别忘了把那些你不喜欢的人选下去，把你喜欢的人选上来。
Come to the end. If anyone who have not registered as a voter, please register for the voter. We do have a booth in here to help you.
我们现在大会宣布，今天的会议到此结束，感谢大家，感谢大家。我们今天现在在左边慢慢走，我们慢慢回去。OK， 我们慢慢走，慢慢回去。啊。
We can live slowly and we're going to carry our spirits and leave this location peacefully.
All right, as we go, justice for all! Justice for all!
慢慢离场。我们的在中心的，我们的左边，你们的右边。我们一边看口号，一边慢慢离场，好不好？谢谢各位，回家记住要投票。还没有做投票的，还没有做那个登记的话，赶快去打。
大家好，我哋係台山社團，我哋今日台山社團有超過28個社團過嚟呢一度，以實際嘅行動嚟支持呢個 Peter LIANG。我哋覺得呢個審判係對我哋係唔公平㗎，我哋一定要維護呢個正義，維護我哋華人華僑向呢度有嘅尊嚴。我哋為咗我哋下一代能夠生活在美國所受到應有嘅尊重，我哋一定要以實際嘅行動去支持我哋嘅 Peter LIANG 警官，我哋一定要支持到底。多謝大家。
我係台山輪業會會長殷錦榮。我哋台山人移民到美國嘅歷史100幾年嘅歷史啦。今日 Peter LIANG 係我哋台山人，我哋應該台山人站得嚟，要講到公平公正。我哋台山人唔係一個小眾嘅人，我哋台山人喺美國時間長，貢獻大。今日 Peter LIANG 得到唔公平唔公正嘅裁判，我哋台山人一定支持得嚟，支持 Peter LIANG。大家企得嚟支持 Peter LIANG，多謝。多謝。今日台山鄉親好熱情高漲，走到一齊嚟聲援我哋嘅梁警官，希望為我哋華人到日後爭取應有嘅權益同埋平等，獲得人哋嘅尊嚴，我哋自己嘅尊嚴。雖然我哋一直都要團結一齊，我哋站起嚟為咗呢件事，為咗一個目的，就係要為咗我哋後一代，我哋一齊出嚟支持今次嘅事件。多謝。
群碌我嗌假站出來呢，都係只有都係為阿梁 Peter， 其實一個為我嗌假啊，唔係為阿梁 Peter， 係為我嗌假，為妒忌，為我兒曉啊！希望嗌假繼續出嚟支持我，反正我開山現都係韓吉支持佢，我愛啊掟佢關注阿鄭。今日我哋努力嗰啲華人為了維護我哋嘅權益出嚟，好多人出嚟呢支持維護我哋華人嘅權益嚟支持Peter LIANG咁咧我哋網友會咧係嘛有好多人。係嘛？個個都出嚟大力支持參與維護我哋嘅華人嘅喺美國嘅嘅權益，好多謝大家啦！大家，
我哋台山僑協呢次非常之團結，有20幾個僑團都集中埋一齊，係統一行動嘅。咁歷史以來呢，我哋台山嗰啲咧係嚟美國修鐵路嘅好幾代人㗎啦。今次係最大嘅一次嘅集會。台山人係最大嘅一次嘅大團結。
我哋全體嘅華裔今日集中喺呢度，就係為咗我哋嘅美國嘅公平公正，為我哋華裔發聲。我哋希望司法公正，為我哋子孫後代謀福利。Thank you。
係我哋第一次參加華人嗰個預選，希望我哋公平。得到利益大家團結。
我哋係台山社團嘅，我哋好要求對 Peter LIANG 嘅公平、公正、公義。我哋為咗我哋下一代，我哋一齊支持佢。
台山社團，支持 Peter LIANG， 支持 Peter LIANG。
台山社團支持 Peter LIANG。
下去了啊。